I am pregnant after 5 years, you guys. 5 years of a roller coaster of emotions. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ezinne, and today I'm going to be telling you about how I got pregnant with PCOS. So if you are new on my channel, then you should please watch my last video. I explained there how I found out I have PCOS, and that will stand as some kind of premise to this video. So I found out I have PCOS 2 months into my marriage. But bear in mind, my husband and I, we started trying for a child the day we got married. We're not one of those couples who were waiting a year or 2 years to travel the world to have kids. No, we understood that we had so much to do later in life, and we had that timeline or that time frame where we could have children and then get that part of our lives over with and then continue with the rest of our lives. So it was something we talked about, and we were like, yeah, we'll get into it right the day we get married. So imagine our disappointment, imagine my frustration when 2 to 3 months into my wedding, I find out I have PCOS, and I find that the major after effect or effect, whatever, of PCOS is that you don't ovulate as often as you should or as often as other women will. It was a very frustrating time for us, and like I said in my last video, it was quite enlightening because at least I understood why my period was always heavy. It explained why I had mood swings and acne and all of that. It explained a lot, so I was relieved on that front. But I was also quite sad on the other side of it, where I knew that, come on, I could go through life and not have a child. But then my husband was very encouraging, to be quite honest. I can't make this video without shouting out to him. He was quite encouraging. He just told me it's not a big deal, you have kids. So we had to start going to the hospital. I had to see a doctor. I went for all the hormonal profiling tests. I did the HSG test, which by the way is freaking painful. For me, it wasn't even as much the physical pain as it was the emotional torture, the thoughts that went through my head while I was doing that test. And at the risk of giving you too much information, because my period will come and stay for extended months, as much as 3 months, I had to run that test while I was on my period. If you know what that test is, you would understand what that meant. So for those who don't know, a HSG test is one where they, basically they want to find out if your fallopian tubes are functioning or if they are blocked. So they find a very big needle, they insert this needle into your V area, your vagina. They insert it into your vagina, right into your body, while monitoring your body with like machines below your back, like machines basically, just to see if this fluid they are going to release into your body flows out or if it goes into your ovaries. So they were trying to find out if sperm travels successfully into the ovaries. That is the whole idea behind the HSG thing. So I had to go through that test. I went through a lot of other tests. I went through scans. These scans showed that I had cysts. And now when I go back to the doctor, they will say, okay, let's give it a month and see if after your period you still have this cyst, then you have to come and get it surgically removed. And then I'll come back 3 months later and they'll tell me, no, these other ones have gone, but there's one that is still there, but that's not a problem. Basically, my life was just a roller coaster of, doctors' reports, different doctors, trying out new hospitals, just doing a lot of things. And at some point, we got tired. We just told ourselves we're not doing anymore. We are just going to hold on. And because of the nature of my husband's job, he's not around very often. So that was also part of the problem. So we didn't have like the luxury of time where we'd say, just relax, one day you're going to get pregnant. We knew that if we were going to get pregnant, we had to be intentional about it and actively work at it. My husband had to be away because of work for a long period of time, sometime in 2016. So I used that time to just get physically active. To be honest, I didn't do a very good job at it, but I was just more physically active than I would normally be. I was going to the gym. My eating habits were not so good, to be honest, and I did not work so hard on them. I always would start and stop diets. But I became more active. And then when my husband came back, we started trying again. And I think I mentioned before on this channel that I have very heavy flow. So it will come and it will come in clots and pump a lot. And I had taken that as a norm, but I got to find out it wasn't normal. It couldn't have been normal anyway. So fast forward to 4 years plus into our marriage, because after about 2 years of trying, or 2.5 years, I just took a break. I had an accident in between all of this. I had a lumpectomy in between all of this. So you can imagine what my body was going through at this time. Having a child just took like a backseat in our lives. Now, when I was ready to try again, and this was when my marriage was about 4 years, I decided to see a doctor again, did all the tests afresh, and that was when they found out that there was a cyst in my body that needed to be taken out, because it didn't go away, because we were doing scans every 3 weeks, and I think I did it for 9 weeks, and they saw that this cyst was still where it was and even getting bigger, so it had to be taken out. So the doctor said they were going to do a laparoscopy. Now, what a laparoscopy is a kind of keyhole surgery where they have incisions in your stomach. If I find any pictures on the internet of it, I'll just insert it here. So they make holes in your stomach and then use a long pipe-like thing to go in there to blow into your ovaries and just pick out the cyst that is blocking your ovaries. So obviously this can only work when the cysts are tiny cysts. So when they did the final scan before the surgery, they saw that these cysts were larger than they thought it was going to be. So we couldn't go for a laparoscopy again. Instead, we went for a laparotomy. I believe that's what it's called, laparotomy. That in that surgery, they actually tear your stomach open, have access to your ovaries, and then take out the cysts because of the size it already is. So now they take out the cyst, and sometimes they take out your ovaries. There's some kind of cancer prevention measures depending on how grown up or how large the cyst is. Sometimes they take out a part of your fallopian tubes, but when it has extended too badly, they take out your ovaries or one of your ovaries, depending on what your situation is. So I went for this surgery. It was successful. They took out this cyst, which turned out to be bigger than a lot of us thought it was. I'll also insert a picture here because I have a picture of that cyst. And they took it for the biopsy and found out it was benign, thank God. But then the doctor told me something when I recovered. He said while he was in the surgery, he decided to do I cannot remember what that's called. It's kind of waking up the ovary just to help it ovulate in the coming months. Now that thing he did would not last, that procedure would not last more than 1 or 2 months afterwards, to be honest. But so according to him, since he did that, we had to start trying for a child the next month. So now I had the surgery 9th of November 2019, and he said I had to start trying for a child with my next menstrual cycle. So in December, my husband and I tried for a child, even though I was still healing from the surgery. And then ovulation was induced. I was giving injections. I was giving all the hormonal injections. I was pumped with pills. And guys, you will not believe that day 11 into my cycle, my period started again. So it started, obviously day 1 of my cycle is when my period starts, ended day 7, and then day 11 my period started again. This was the time ovulation was supposed to be taking place. I broke down in tears. I cried a lot, and I just told myself I'm so tired. Now I forgot to mention that in the year 2019, which is 4 years into my marriage, I took fitness seriously. I actually started October 2018. I lost, between October 2018 and the time of my surgery was November 2019. I had lost 35 kg. I went from 115 kg to about 79, 80 kg, thereabouts. So I want to put that out there because I'm very sure that also helped. Now, when this happened and my period came, it was so discouraging. So we just told ourselves, you know what, we're done. We're done. Next thing I was going to bring up was going to be IVF, but I just needed to rest. Now, bear in mind, like I said, this happened in December. So I went for the holidays, just had fun, and in January, I decided to just relax. And then for our 5th year wedding anniversary, we had a really good time. A week into our wedding anniversary, I didn't feel okay. I was just all over the place. I assumed I had malaria, but I was just sad. For whatever reason, my hormones, my feelings were all over the place. My husband and I started to have the IVF talk, and you know, we're like, it has come to the point where we need to do this. We are 5 years into our marriage. If we need children, the time is now. You cannot believe that while I was having this conversation, I was already pregnant. I was already pregnant. A day before that, I saw my period. I had no idea that period was what they call implantation bleeding. That thing came that day, came the next day while I was having this conversation. And then we decided, okay, let's start making investigations to see which clinic we're going to use for IVF. Guys, I was pregnant while all of these conversations were going on. And then my period stopped and I'm like, okay, 2 days of period. I mean, what haven't I seen? And somehow, a few days later, I was just all over the place. I started crying a lot. I was just messy. And then a friend of mine tells me, you know what, babe, you have to go and do a pregnancy test. My best friend told me that. And now, if you have been looking for a child for so long, you would know that we never run out of pregnancy test strips. I always kept a pregnancy test strip. But now, because of the nature of my husband's job, we were not living in the same town. So I went to his town to spend my anniversary. So I decided, just so that I won't be under any kind of pressure, I won't travel with any test strip. And that's what happened. I didn't travel with any test strip. I was having so much fun. And then when my friend told me this, I was like, you know what, just so it doesn't look like I didn't do this, let me just do this. And I was so ready for a negative result. I'm so excited just talking about this because I always remember the day like it was yesterday. I peed on the stick, and then I left it and went on to go continue what I was doing in the kitchen. And after like 10 minutes, I remember, oh crap, I have this thing in my bathroom and my husband will soon be back. And I didn't want him to come and just see it and, you know, he will be in his feelings, you know, he will think I'm bothering so much and that will make him bother so much. So I'm like, let me just go throw it away. To be honest, I just went to trash it because I had done nothing less than 100 pregnancy. Like, I would just randomly pee in a stick and be like, God, what if it's positive? And I would look and it's negative. So it was so discouraging, it was so heartbreaking. So this time I was like, you know what the hell? And then I want to throw it and I look at it and I'm seeing 2 lines. I'm like, no, wait. I'm trying to rush this video, right? But guys, it wasn't funny. And I look at this and I saw 2 lines. I'm like, 2 lines means pregnant. I have never seen 2 red lines in my life. Guys, I was shocked, I was crying, I was speaking in tongues, I was praying, I was confused, I was dialing my doctor's number, he didn't pick my call. I dialed my sister's number, she didn't pick my call. I dialed my mother's number, she didn't pick my call. I was like, where is everybody? I was crying, I was sobbing, I was yelling, I was saying, God, thank you. I was so grateful. It was so real, you guys. I just turned off like my cooking. I was like, what? I am pregnant. I am pregnant after 5 years, you guys. 5 years of a roller coaster of emotions. 5 years of struggle. 5 years of so many battles. I was pregnant. I peed on another stick. I peed on 3 sticks that night. I was like, maybe this one is faulty. I cannot believe the report of 1 stick. Because I've been in this for too long. So I peed on the 2nd stick and the 3rd stick, and they were all now positive. And I was crying. And I was like, how? I have a baby in my tummy. I really have a baby in my tummy. I could not believe it. So I called my mom, I called my sister. When they all did not pick, I went to my family WhatsApp group and I sent a voice note. You will never pick when there's anything. When someone needs you to pick your call, you will not pick. What is wrong with all of you? You're not pregnant. I am pregnant. Oh my God. It was amazing. I can never describe the feeling I felt on 24th of February 2020. That was the day I found out I was pregnant. It can never go away. Like, the feeling can never go away. I keep replaying the day, every single detail of that day. I can never forget. It was amazing. Anyway, enough with the emotions. That's how I found out I was pregnant. If you have any questions, please ask me in my comment section. If I omitted anything, if there's anything you want to know specifically, please ask me in the comment section. Please share this video, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.